Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. Alright, now we're going to get into the fight predictions. Here is the fight prediction sheet. Look how beautiful this is, dude. Remember, if you want this sheet, link is in the goddamn description. Alright, we are going to start off with the early prelims. Okay, the very first fight of the night. We've got Uppbeat versus Miller, two newer middleweights. Let me pull up, hold on a second here. I want to pull up Tapology over here so that I can look at what's going on with these guys. Everybody, yeah, rock your body, yeah. Okay, we're back now. So we've got Adam Uppbeat versus Ty Miller. Now, Adam Uppbeat, dude, Uppbeat, just Uppbeat, fug it up, fug it up. Actually, you know what? We can look at it together. Why not? Okay? So Adam Uppbeat, when he joined the UFC back in 2022, and they fucking fed him Michael Morales right off the hop. He had a win, then a loss to Mike Mallet, then another win, and then a loss. So he's coming off a loss to this Islam Dulatov guy. This Islam Dulatov guy? You mean Islam Dulatov? Don't say it like that, bro. Okay, so he's 2-3 in the UFC. One thing I like about Adam Uppbeat is his last name is Uppbeat. You know? He just goes out there and says, Uppbeat, dude. And then Ty Miller, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Okay? Undefeated in his pro record. Just came off his win in the Contender Series. And they're putting him up against Adam Uppbeat. So, based off of that alone, because, you know, I'm not too familiar with these guys, he's also a -400 favorite, undefeated, yada yada. It kind of makes the most sense to go for Mr. Ty Miller here. All right, now the second fight of the night, we got Turcios versus Smotherman. All right, now initially I was thinking about Smotherman, but then I was like, I don't know. He is the favorite. I don't like to pick complete favorites on the cards. I notice sometimes I'll do that. I'll pick all my fighters, and then I go back and look, and I'm like, I picked all favorites. So sometimes I just like to go for the underdog just for the sake of going for the underdog. But when you actually look at these two guys' records, let's just pull them up here. Turcios and Smotherman. So let's look at Smotherman, okay? So Smotherman is 1-2 in the UFC. He won his debut and then had 2 losses in a row. But outside of that, he's pretty decent. You know, he's not terrible. And then we look at Turcios. He is 2-3 in the UFC, also coming off 2 losses. One of them was to Chiwiwis and then Sopaj. All right? He also lost to Ayman Zahabi, but that's, you know, that makes sense. So, really, we're kind of even playing fields here. I'm telling you, dude, the matchmakers are great. So, because of that, I'm just going to go for Turcios, because it really could go any way. Now, we already talked about these guys. All right, this is Hockett and Freeman. Okay, you know how I feel about Hockett, so I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in here. Hockett is my choice. All right, Johnson and Hernandez, 2 classic motherfuckers. This was another tough choice for me. We got 2 Johnsons back to back. I'm just realizing this. But if I'm not mistaken, I went with the Great Ape. And yes, you see, Johnson has been in the game for quite a bit now. Let's take a look at him. Michael Johnson and Alexander Hernandez. Okay, so Michael Johnson is 39 years old. He's getting up there in age. 16 and 15 in the UFC. He is coming off 3 wins, okay? But like I said, he's getting old, man. He's turning into an old motherfucker. Alex Hernandez, he's still, he's right in his prime. 33 years old, coming off 4-fight win streak. It's not guaranteed that he's going to win, especially when guys are on big win streaks like that, and they go up against a veteran. It might be tough, but I think I am going to give it to Alex Hernandez here. But I don't be opposed. I think Johnson is a decent pick. It could go his way, and I would be okay with that. All right. So then we got Perez versus Johnson. All right. Charles Johnson. I'm getting my Johnsons mixed up. I can't remember their names. It's just me and my Johnson. Okay, so Alex Perez. What do we got here? 7-6 in the UFC. He's coming off 2-fight losing streak. Now, Alex Perez did fight for the title way back in 2020, and he did not get the job done. Okay, but when he won his Contender Series fight, went on a decent run, only had 1 loss. Yep. Yeah, he had a really good run here. He was a good contender. And then fought Figgy, didn't get it, and had fucking a shit ton of cancellations. Just a fucking, look at this fucking clusterfuck of cancellations. And right after Figgy, he gets fed Alex. And then has some more cancellations. And then has a fucking draw. And then he's fed Muhammad Makayev. Like, what a fucking... Could you imagine getting Figgy, Pantoja, and then Muhammad Makayev back-to-back with all these cancellations in between? Like, holy fuck, what a shitty time that must have been. All right? And then he finally gets himself a win back. And then he goes on a 2-fight losing streak with some more cancellations in between there. So, he's going through a rough time. That might motivate him to get fucking back on track here. But then we have Charles Johnson, okay? Charles Johnson came in, after a 2-fight title defense in LFA. He gets Muhammad Makayev right off the bat in his debut into the UFC. Couple wins, 3 losses, 4-fight win streak, 1 loss. Now he's on a 1-fight win streak against Loney Kavanagh, and this was on that China card, the Walker versus Ming Yang or whatever, and he had a sick fucking knockout. And I went into this fight thinking Lonnie was going to win, but nope, Charles Johnson took it, and he took it well. And so I think Charles Johnson is on a little hot run right now. He's 35. He's still not crazy old. Alex Perez is 33, so he's younger. Again, this is a tough choice. I could see it going either way, but I think I'm going to go for Charles Johnson on this one. Ooh, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe I should go for Perez. Perez might take that win back, dude. Ooh la la. Should I go for Perez? Motherfucker. You know what? Fuck it. See, these 2 fights, man, I don't know. Maybe I should go for... Should I go for both Johnsons? Man, I don't know, dude. No, I'm going to keep it like this. Okay? Now we're going to go up to the light heavyweight bout. Nikita Krylov versus Bukaki. I like to call this man Bukaki. It's Bukaskas, but it sounds like Bukaki. There's not terribly a whole lot to say about these gentlemen. We can look at their fight record, I guess, if we choose. Bukaki, Modestus Bukaki. So Modestus, he's 31, still young. 7-4 in the UFC. He is on a 4-fight win streak. His last fight was against Paul Craig. Wasn't that the fight that retired Paul Craig? I believe so. Okay, then Nikita Krylov is 33, also still fairly young. 11-9 and He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Okay. Now, if you look at just their records here, you would say, oh, fucking Bukaki's going to take this. But this is another one of those fights where I said to myself, I don't want to just pick the favorites all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Krylov on this one. Okay? Now, I don't even have to say anything about this, all right? We've got Gutier versus Pelayev. You already know I'm going for Gutier. All right, but I do just want to pull up Pelayev's. Let's pull them both up, actually. I just want to see what Pelayev's got going on. He's 28, so still very young. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Lost his debut to Christian Leroy Duncan, then had a win over Nick Klein. Outside of that, decent record. Nothing too crazy. But then Atiba Gutier, he's only had one amateur bout, it looks like. And what does the question mark mean? What does that mean? Like they didn't know what happened? I don't know. Won his debut, then this is his only loss. Okay? Lost by decision. And then look, round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 2 KO, round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 1 KO. The dude knows how to knock motherfuckers out. Just fucking an unbelievable beast, dude. So I'm going for Gutier. And look at the fucking betting odds here. Okay? It's hard not to go for him. Alright, and then look at these betting odds. Fucking Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. Minus 1,400 to plus 800. Like, what? So we already know I'm going for Umar here. But I'll tell you what. If you want to take a little risk and see if maybe you can win some big money, just put some money on both these guys here. Just see what happens. I would hate to see Gutier lose, and I would hate to see Umar lose, but guess what? If they do, you could win some fat fucking cash, dude. Figgy, former champ. Umar has not been the champ, but he's come close. Last year, he fought for the title against Merab. Broke his hand in round 1. Couldn't get it done. But if he wins this, that'll put him back in the title talks. But if Figgy wins, which I highly fucking doubt's going to happen. I don't know what's next for Figgy because he's getting old. So, but anyway, let's go to the main card. All right, we got Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen. This was another tough one for me because I love. Whoops, we already saw it. I love Jean Silva. I love the fighting nerds. But Brendan Allen. Not Brendan Allen. What the fuck? Arnold Allen. Jesus Christ. Arnold Allen has been on everybody's radar lately. He's 32. Okay? Look at this guy. When he joined the UFC, he went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fight win streak. Beating guys like Dan Hooker and Calvin Guitar. But unfortunately, he got Max Holloway and Movzar. So if you're going to lose, those are the guys to lose to. And then he beat Giga Chikadze. All right? And look at him in Cage Warriors. Look at him. Just like, man, the guy's overall record is 23-0. Like, holy fuck. Arnold Allen is fucking good. But then we've got Jean Silva. All right? Also a fucking beast. All right? Just unbelievable win streak. Fighting nerd. His only loss in the UFC, and really almost okay, I guess he doesn't have an amateur career. Whew. So he's only had 3 losses, and his other 2 losses were only in the beginning of his career. So yeah, he just lost to Diego Lopez back in September on the Noche card. And he's going up against Arnold Allen. I think he can do it against Arnold Allen, but man, this is another tough one because these guys have such clean records, both of them. It literally could go any way, but I am going to go for Jean Silva, but we'll see. All right? And then we got another Silva. Dude, we got people with the same names, okay? What is her name? Natalia Silva? Can't remember. Yes, Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. We're not going to talk much about this. I'm just going to go for Natalia Silva. She's got a hot streak right now. Minus 14 to plus 3, or minus 400 to plus 300. I'm going to go for her. All right. We already talked about Cortez and Lewis. Again, I could go either way, but I feel like Derek's going to take it. Even though Salsa Boy is the fucking favorite, I really think Derek Lewis is going to take it. Now we got O'Malley versus Yadong. I initially was going to go for Yadong, but I've since switched it up, and I think I'm going to go for Sugar. You know, I do like Sugar. And I'd like to see him on the White House card against Piotr Jan. So I really need him to win this fight. But Yadong could take the dub. Okay? Let's just take a look at Yadong. And we might as well take a look at Sean. Yadong. Okay? So Yadong joined the UFC back in 2017. He went on a 5 fight win streak with one draw in there. He beat Chito Vera, but then he lost to Kyler Phillips. 3 fight win streak. Couple losses. This one loss was a grappling loss, though. Lost to Sandhagen. Couple wins. Lost to Piotr Jan. Won against Henry Cejudo. So he's pretty good, right? And then in one championship, where? I thought he was in one. He only had one fight in one championship, and it was a loss? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I guess so. And then Sean O'Malley. We all know Sean O'Malley. Other potential superstar. Joined the UFC back in 2017. Just wins. Lost to Chito Vera. Win. Remember back in 2023, he won the belt, then defended it against Chito, then lost it to Merab twice in a row. So, we need to see what Sean O'Malley can do outside of Merab. He's been surrounded by Merab for the past couple of years. Merab has been his kryptonite. So what is he? Is Sean going to come back and show us something impressive? Because other than Chito Vera and Merab, he has no losses in the UFC. Okay? This was a grappling match. So Chito Vera and Merab were the only guys who could take out Sean O'Malley. So when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? I don't think Yadong will do it. But we'll see. All right, and in the main event, I am going to go with Patty. I just think it's all lining up that way, which is unfortunate because I do like Gaethje. But yeah, I'm going to go for Patty. I wouldn't be sad if Gaethje did win, though. So this is my full card. Those are my picks. Again, if you want this fight prediction sheet, the link is in the description or in my bio. It'll take you to a Google Drive where you can download and print it off, as many copies as you want.
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast.